Gaming always has Easter eggs, but sometimes it's a little more difficult to get to them than others. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the 7 hardest recent Easter eggs that seemed impossible. Starting off at number 7, it's the Dead Space remake, and we're talking about unlocking the foam finger. We're starting the list off, I think, with an Easter egg that doesn't just seem impossible to get. It's literally the name of the mode you have to beat to get it. The foam finger, or the hand cannon as it's officially known, is an incredibly powerful weapon first introduced in Dead Space 2, and the only way to get it was to beat the game on hardcore, which is, at its core, pretty hard. Now, the foam finger is an amazing weapon capable of destroying most enemies in just a couple of hits. It's got unlimited ammo, and yeah, it's a foam finger. It's a joke weapon, but the power cannot be disputed. If you want to unlock it in the Dead Space remake, you have to beat the new highest difficulty mode in the game, Impossible Mode, which is something that is unlocked after you beat the game once. It has a truly brutal requirement. You see, when playing in Impossible Mode, if you die, you have to either start from the beginning or lower the difficulty to hard. So you have to beat the hardest version of the game without dying a single time, which is absurdly punishing. Like, imagine getting 10 hours into this thing and being forced to start over from scratch. Like, getting the foam finger in Dead Space is extremely difficult, and for any other weapon, it wouldn't be worth the effort. But look at this thing. Hard as hell to unlock, but who cares? It's a foam finger gun in Dead Space. It's great. Come on. At number 6 is the Talos Principle 2's Don't Look Down Easter egg. One thing I loved about the original Talos Principle was all the goofy Easter eggs. Like, there's tons of them, so even somebody as clueless as me could find a couple. So when I started up Talos 2, I expected more Easter eggs and secrets. So color me surprised that there was really not a lot to find. The game decided to play it straight this time. So why is this game on the list? Because there are Easter eggs. They're just really friggin' hard to find normally. One might say impossible. Maybe the devs intend to bring these Easter eggs into the game eventually, but right now the only way to see the many secrets hidden in Talos Principle 2 is to load up the open beta branch of the game rather than the regular retail branch. That's where all the Easter eggs are hiding. If you load up the regular game, none of this stuff shows up. The only way you can find them is to play the beta. So either the devs are really hiding the Easter eggs from us, or more likely they intentionally left them out of the game at first and are planning on adding them later. Don't really know what the motivation for that is, but with the beta branch loaded, there's some good stuff to find, like this Easter egg that's directly playing off the Don't Look Up Easter egg from the first game. If you wandered over by this random cliff in West 2, you'll find this sign that says Don't Look Down, and of course you do, and alright, okay, I didn't expect that. A big cartoon boxing glove on a spring pops up out of nowhere. There's a lot of Easter eggs like this all over the beta. I gotta give credit to guys on YouTube for going through the trouble of finding all these things. At number 5 is Cyberpunk 2077, the big mystery. So there's been this big mystery in Cyberpunk 2077. People been obsessing over FF06B5, a text string on a statue near Corpo Plaza. There was an entire subreddit dedicated to trying to figure out what the secrets of this thing were. And if I really wanted to dig deep into their investigations, we'd probably be here all day. So to make a long story short, CD Projekt has been stringing its most dedicated players along for a while before Phantom Liberty came out. With the 2.0 update and the expansion, all that setup and investigation finally started to pay off, though, revealing a convoluted series of events that eventually unlocks a pretty nice reward for players willing to jump through all the hoops to get. It's one of those Easter eggs that would be nearly impossible to solve alone. The steps to getting it are extremely obscure and confusing to solve. It's one of those follow a guide type of secrets. There's just no way someone could possibly figure out these steps within an entire community working together to figure it out. The main steps of the Easter egg are straightforward enough. You have to find this random arcade cabinet in a shack in the middle of a game, play through this Wolfenstein 3D game until you get to floor 52, and then find a secret server room that has its own secret server room. And then there's a random code you have to put in to unlock a secret level, floor -10. It's a maze that has a time limit. You're pretty much guaranteed to fail without a map handy. Complete that, and you'll be able to input a new code on the servers in the shack, and to get the codes for that, you have to find this random laptop in the middle of nowhere with a code that has to be deciphered. See what I mean when I said it's not a figure it out yourself kind of Easter egg? So you put all the codes into the servers, you get a waypoint on the map that leads to nothing. The final trick is that you just have to wait at the waypoint for a while. And when I say a while, I mean a long time, like around 30 minutes. And if you're in the right spot, a cutscene plays and you get your reward. A monster truck, which, sure, why not? Hell yeah. Monster truck? Yes. Thank you. And number 4 is Starfield, the deepest New Game Plus variations. One of the most divisive things about Starfield is how New Game Plus works. There are things to complain about, of course, like how it resets all your settlements, but if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that different variations are pretty great. Basically, the game treats New Game Plus like you traveled into an alternate universe, so sometimes the game actually changes how the story starts, which is a fun idea, but it can be rare to trigger. I've seen a lot of examples of people who have played through the game multiple times, some of them up to 9, and never seen a different variation, because there are a few secret variables that may keep people from seeing these events. For one thing, they never seem to trigger on the first New Game Plus. You always have to beat the game at least twice before these alternative starts ever appear, and on top of that, there's a 15% chance that decides how these variations show up. You'd think it's a pretty high chance of finding something, but it doesn't stack, it's just a flat 15% chance, so if you're unlucky, you could go through dozens of restarts and never see anything other than the standard world state. So if you want to see something silly like an evil version of yourself killing everyone, or the entire Constellation HQ filled with clones of you, or a universe where Sarah Morgan is a plant, then your chances actually aren't very high. If you're on PC, you could just cheat and get these variables, but if you're on console, you're probably out of luck. If there's a certain alternate universe Easter egg you want to see, it's unlikely you'll ever see it without just repeatedly beating the game and hoping for the best. And number 3 is Remnant 2's hidden Archon class. This game isn't just hiding a weapon or some goofy little joke behind a Call of Duty zombie-style community Easter egg. It's an entire hidden character class. The Archon class can only be unlocked by equipping a specific set of items which give your character the corrupted status. There's no logic behind what items you need or why. It's almost completely random, and the only way anyone was able to figure out the correct collection of equipment was by data mining the game, which in this game, the developers actually anticipated. To unlock the Archon, the actual intended method for figuring it out was for players to go through the system files. I don't know about you, but this sort of stuff isn't exactly my forte. If everyone had to do this to figure one out, then it would be pretty much impossible for like 99.9% of the player base. That's obviously not the case, though. We have the internet, so once one person has figured it out, everyone has, which is awesome. That doesn't make it easy, though. Many of the items you need are found only by following certain story routes and accessing certain secrets that can be randomly generated, so there's no guarantee you'll even have them show up. So even with the solution opening the door to get to the class, it's still really difficult to actually unlock it. There is an Easter egg here, too. The corrupted door leads to this game's version of the Backrooms, and after exploring for a while, you find the hidden class. If a game has an Easter egg, you expect some variation of the Backrooms these days, but this one's still uniquely difficult to actually enter. Moving on to number 2. So in the original version of Mario RPG, there was a boss called Kulix. The guy's whole deal was that he was a 2D Final Fantasy enemy that had transitioned into the 3D world of Super Mario RPG. The original game, he wasn't actually 3D in it. In fact, the whole game was just sprites. They were pre-rendered and intended to look 3D, but you get the idea. So when you fight this thing in the new Super Mario RPG remake, he's still totally flat sprite in an actual 3D game this time. After beating the remake, however, you unlock a new post-game where if you beat a bunch of souped-up boss refights, then you have the chance to take on a fully powered 3D Kulix as the game's super bonus boss. This guy isn't just a fun surprise either. He's tough as hell, and even just getting to him can be an extremely frustrating endeavor because the bonus bosses, they're no joke. You'd think with a game as easy as Super Mario RPG, the bonus bosses would be slightly tougher in their original forms, but some of these fights are pretty brutal. I'm talking instant kill attacks all over the place. Weird gimmicks, no mercy. They're all hard, but the most unforgiving one has to be Booster. What makes this guy so tough is he got 2 little minions who speed up his ultimate attack, and if he triggers this ultimate, the fight's over. It's an instant kill with even the best equipment at the max level. So just kills little minions, right? Well, here's the problem. For some reason, there's a bug connected to this fight where Booster just gets faster and faster every time you refight him. It's not a game mechanic, it's just some kind of bug. So the first time you're fighting him, it takes about 3 turns to do the ultimate attack, and suddenly, he's doing it after just 1 if you restart the fight enough times. In the worst case scenario, this bug can render the fight practically unbeatable, which is not what I would expect to say about any boss in Super Mario RPG, which is one of the easiest RPGs ever made. And finally, at number 1 is Ion Fury Aftershock, the Silent Hill mega secret. Pretty obscure, in all seriousness, both the game and the Easter egg. But it's a pretty cool one too, especially if you're into Silent Hill games. Even for a boomer shooter, this one is a nonsensical secret. Here's how it works. On map 4-3, there's these prison cells, so what you have to do is blow up this random TV monitor in a cell, and then somehow that unlocks a door halfway across the map, which opens up a big fog-filled street that may look familiar. It is an homage to the original Silent Hill, with the weirdly small houses, the bottomless cliff at the end of the road, and of course the doghouse from the infamous Silent Hill 1 meme. The secret doesn't even end there. You can interact with the doghouse and enter the house, which is a fairly accurate recreation of the same house in the game. It's mostly just pickups there, but it's still a pretty impressive Easter egg. I've seen people create stuff like E1M1 and Doom in various retro shooters, but not things from entirely different genres of games. It's a good secret, even if there's no way in hell I'd ever find it naturally. Seriously, how does blowing up a random TV correlate to a door to Silent Hill being open? Can someone possibly explain how you're supposed to figure this out? Wait a second, is that the golden shovel from Twin Peaks Season 3? Man, this game has some wild Easter eggs. I also have a bonus here for you, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I mentioned this one before. It's an Easter egg, and it's very impossible, so it deserves a spot on this list. In the fort area, there's a random spot where the floor will fall through, and you'll encounter a rematch with the son of one of the most infamous enemies from Jedi Fallen Order. This thing will somehow manage to be even more annoying than its father, with an infuriating hitbox and absurd homing powers. It's just a miserable pain to fight. It's mostly just a pleasant reminder to be glad that these stupid frog enemies don't show up anywhere else in Jedi Survivor. Killing it unlocks the classic Fallen Order poncho, but it also causes a new sense echo point to appear inside the shop at Rambler's Ranch. If you interact with it, then you'll experience the ultimate terror, a team-up battle with Ogdu and his spawn that's maybe the most annoying, hardest fight in the entire game. I can only assume it was designed to be as annoying as possible, because otherwise there's no excuse for these things' hitboxes. Trying to dodge these things just absolutely sucks, pure and simple. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on GameRanx.